New Zealand in the black, France in the blue. Semi-final one underway, and it goes down towards Lutoz and Kelly Arbe, one of the new young French players, and what a talent she is. It'll be France with first possession. And New Zealand, over this one, had hands on it, was Tenetti, but then couldn't control it at that breakdown area. So France protect the ball and keep possession with Lutoz. Working in the middle with Dupuis, couldn't find Jasson, and Felix Hotham all over Marie Dupuis in the early stages. France all losing a little bit of ground, loose ball, and they're going to lose a little bit more. Fignon, this exciting teenager, under pressure. And now look at New Zealand. This is where they really like to hunt in their black pack. Arbe, though, got great speed, coming out of danger. Holds on round the ankles, does Tenetti. But a good carry out from Kelly Arbe. Danger times on their own goal line, working really hard at the moment, the French. New Zealand have got them exactly where they want them. Lutoz. And then Desu will go into play half-back, and Jasson, and that's an awkward ball, and just dot it down, and it'll be a New Zealand scrum 5.
Oh, that's defensive pressure. Black Ferns Sevens getting into faces. I was watching the communication by Hirni and Tenetti on that outside. She's such a good marshal. It tells everyone where to go, pushes people out when they need to go, get in the faces, and then putting themselves under pressure. France 7.
New Zealand have got a big blind side to work with here. If Setifano is there, they go herself, does Elise Pody Lane for Jasmine Felix Hotham, and Felix Hotham goes in untouched. New Zealand the first strike in the semi-final.
Oh, that's the way you want to start. First 2 minutes, put pressure on and stay there. Look at Jasmine Felix Hotham, gets on the outside of Dupuis, and as soon as Siufani turns her shoulders to get off, she knew that all she had to do was straighten. Siufani turns, almost does a full 360, comes around, and then gets in for the first one.
So New Zealand goes 7-0 up in the opening couple of minutes through Jasmine Felix Hotham. Sending the restart down deep into the France 22. They've been camped down here as Perrine Fignon bounces out of a couple. The 18-year-old captain of the France under-18s, and that penalty will help France.
Yeah, Georgia Miller just going off her feet completely, try to go in for the steal and then just slips off. So completely sealing off, lying over that ball.
Go ahead.
That's a get out of jail free card for the French.
It'll be with Bate to tap and go. France through Valentine Lutoz. It's another player taking on a strong leadership role in this French side. Valentine Lutoz. Again, New Zealand just physical, and it's stressed ball every time for the French to work with. Just cannot find a way out of their 22. Passes like that aren't helping, but maybe this woman can. And Cecile Siofani, Paul gets back at her a couple of times. Siofani gets up, goes again. Better ball this time, but close to that touchline. Better from France, and now a hole for Arbe, couldn't get it. Miller all over it, all over her, and all over that penalty.
Oh, Dupuis thought she'd come in just early enough, but Hirni wants to go.
Hirni takes it upon herself, loving to raise the tempo as she so often does, the captain. Setifano will straighten and get dumped into the Cape Town turf. Hefty defence and winning the ball back. Great work from France.
Oh, that's hard work. Defensive pressure is all about attitude, and it's making the hits after you just got dumped into the ground. Waiting to come around, Dupuis lining up, getting really low. Bit of assistance. Setifano hitting the ground hard, but comes in. Felix Hotham gets the clear, but off feet at breakdown time, so penalty go against France, and that's a win back. Always working.
Great work from, again, Perrine Fignon. She's from Auray, the same town as Caroline Jouin, the great French player. Not seeing in a 7 shirt at the moment. I'm sure we'll see in a 15s jersey next year. Ball comes away for New Zealand. And Pody Lane going herself. Reese Pody Lane slapping away the defenders and scoring from the scrum. Reese Pody Lane.
Yeah, that's just high rugby IQ. Backed with a little bit of pace, that always helps. Pick up. Reese Pody Lane's done really well working that first channel, just keeping the defenders guessing. Gets the ball in the outside arm to be able to slap the tackle away. Look at that, bit of a fake. Made the defender turn again, just jumping off the play with the ball too early, the French defenders. Too easy.
Pody Lane can't convert her own try, but it's given New Zealand a 12-0 lead in the semi-final. Just under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Shallow restart for Tinetti to get underneath and knock back into the hands of Millett. So more possession, more territory for New Zealand. France just cannot get hands on ball in a decent part of the field. Felix Hotham to dart around the outside of a couple. Now they've created the overlap out on the right where the hands are good down low from Tinetti. Good tackle made on her by Hardbay.
Ball out.
And ball comes out for New Zealand awkwardly. They still able to look after it. Pody Lane will try and get a bit of footwork in that turn of pace that she's got to then create the space and get the offload away for Mahina Paul to steam down that touchline. Mahina Paul grabs New Zealand's third.
Oh, the Paul Express was on. Played really, really flat on the attack. Did the Black Ferns Sevens came left to right. Then it was all about accuracy of passing. Drawing a couple of defenders in. Reece Pody Lane does exactly that. Keeps two defenders occupied. Opens up the space for Paul. She'll run under the sticks.
Reminiscent of when she made her debut here, Mahina Paul, back in 2020. She was called in as an injury replacement. Scored the match-winning try in an extra time match. Now an Olympic gold medalist in that 4 ensuing years. New Zealand in complete command, 19-0. Again, ball brought down. There's a little bit of room for Latoz. Oh, hit any the ankle tap.
Touch.
Desperation from the captain on the stroke at half-time puts France into touch and New Zealand into the break with a 19-0 lead in the semi-final. Of our semi-finals. Second half underway and France, well, they've had no ball and no territory and now they've got a mistake from the kickoff.
And that would be frustrating. You would have just come off half, had a conversation, knew the plan that you would have wanted to go, and unfortunately just the execution not there.
So New Zealand, who've been dominant, feels like they haven't really had to get out of third gear, and Georgia Miller, well, she'll put the foot down and accelerate away. Got support, won't need it. Georgia Miller, another individual strike in New Zealand. Again, multiple players on the score sheet. This time it's Georgia Miller.
Oh, when a strike play works, it works well, doesn't it? Just comes on the long switch, does Georgia Miller. Said not getting out of gear. Georgia Miller went into sixth, stayed on the outside. She just always looks in such control of when she runs. Knows exactly where her players are, where her teammates are, but also where the defenders are. And having a good time while doing it.
24-0. New Zealand absolutely dictating this match as Georgia Miller, still only 20 years of age. France with ball in hand this time, and then it just spills out. Have no, just the frustration, Valentine Latoz. It's almost an illustration of how this 9 minutes has gone for France.
Yeah, just not picture perfect. You would have walked into a semi-final, had a plan, but kind of just when that plan goes out the window, what do? You need someone to step up. You need a leader to step up.
New Zealand men's I tell you what, if you ever want a hype guy, Cody Vi, the New Zealand men's team is your hype guy. All watching on the Black Ferns Sevens as Manaya Nuku scoots away from the base of the scrum for New Zealand. Keep away from Sealfani, and now Paul with a little bit of footwork, chopping back and back again. Now Felix Hotham, space for Felix Hotham. Oh, they are weaving around French defenders at the moment, and that's created numbers on the end of the chain for Kelsey Tinetti.
Oh, they're just stringing on a plate at the moment. Kelsey Tinetti just adding to her tally, but It just makes it look too easy. A lot of the players have such deceiving pace, don't they? That was brilliant work done by Felix Hotham to straighten up a little, get the defenders guessing. That also creates the numbers on the outside because the last defender feels she needs to come in. And then Kelsey Tanetti going over, adding to a tally.
31 points to 0 now.
Time off.
New Zealand flag soaring. There's the Black Ferns sevens. Oh, tough lesson for this young French team, isn't it? You work your way to a semi-final. You heard a couple of players say earlier, for some of these new faces on the series, that mistakes are just magnified at this level, aren't they? And teams will make you pay.
Sevens is a magnifying glass on almost everything you do on this pitch.
Tunkara just knocked it away, enough for a teammate to get there, but Hirini snatched it away even quicker. New Zealand absolutely into everything in this semi-final, and Felix Hotham throws an absolute worldie for Vahakolo. Vahakolo with the fen just dragged down by Sealfani, but New Zealand just coming in absolute waves at the French at the moment. Miller through one, through a second, trying to get around a third, can't do so, but gets the offload away for Hirini. Ball is on an absolute string at the moment.
Oh, playmakers all over the place. Hirini was the one that stole the ball back at breakdown time. They went all the way to the left, got around. Casey Vahakolo getting in there, getting a couple of fends in. Georgia Miller, playmaker herself. She's got pace when you need it, but she can get through defenders, look around, look for support. Always on the shoulder, Sarah Hirini.
New Zealand were really clunky in their game against Japan yesterday afternoon, weren't they, Layla? And, well, they have, I'd imagine there were some words, and it's worked.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Would have been a couple of chats about the way that they would have won. So you got to play to your standard too.
38-0 and some semi-final action for the debutant Olive Watherston, and here she is in jersey 82. Coach Corey Sweeney saying she's like it. Reminded him of a young Sarah Hirini. Here's Watherston and Faliafunga and Hirini are in there, and they're going to get possession back. I don't think France have been in New Zealand's half the entire match.
No, have not. They've come close, maybe inside the 10, and maybe just gotten over the halfway line, but they've been nowhere close to the 22-meter. No possession to speak of, no territory to speak of. It's all been the Black Ferns.
Bind. Set.
Nuku to feed the scrum. New Zealand wanting more, and they've had plenty. Felix Hotham been in the thick of those as well. Hirini around the corner. Playing some big minutes this weekend. Sarah Hirini, ball in two hands and on the chest for Caitlin Vahakolo. She scored tries at will in the 15s game this year, and now has got 5 in her sevens career.
Yeah, how good is it to see her on a sevens pitch? But the work of Hirini, set her up. The playmaking happening on the inside, straightening when they need to, and then just releasing enough. Keeps the ball in hand just long enough to create the space on the outside.
Interesting too, New Zealand choosing not to take the conversion. I mean, they don't need to, but just get on and keep scoring tries, working through a few things. Nuku sends this up. Almost there for Neeson, just couldn't control it in the sun. So here is more ball for New Zealand to play with a minute to go. This has been a dominant performance. France on this one though. Brazier eventually squeezes it back for New Zealand. Felix Hotham again back up through the middle, upended, still gets the ball away, and now New Zealand have got another 2-on-1. Here's Kelly Brazier, 50th tournament for the veteran, playing to the wheels fall off, she says. Puts a little ball on the toe and now has to try and show those wheels. France getting back in numbers. Brazier all over this though. Fire in the belly from the veteran to win possession back. New Zealand, quick hands this time, don't quite find Vahakolo, and they've dribbled forward for perhaps, I think, their first mistake for the game.
Yeah, absolutely. First mistake in 13.5 minutes.
From here.
Started on the right-hand side of the pitch. Possession swapped a couple of ways, but it's just how quick they are at breakdown time when they get over. Look at this. This is Kelly Brazier putting on the boot, realizes she doesn't have the gas, but as soon as she gets there,
Crouch.
gets straight over, steals the ball back for her side.
Bind.
Can almost hear the New Zealand lounge rooms. Go, Auntie! Go, Auntie Kells! 43 points to nil. Sirens gone. Can France get something, anything out of this one? Siofane is not going to go through Brazier and Vahakolo, though. All over this one, too. Another penalty for New Zealand.
Did Nuku tap it? I think there was half a tap and then decided, no, it wasn't actually one.
43 is enough. That is some performance in a semi-final against the quality French side. New Zealand have absolutely put them away to march through to the final here in Cape Town. 43 points to nil. New Zealand completely dominant.